What's up, Don? Oh. What's going on in here?
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. We interrupt this program to bring you a news bulletin. Check it out.
wook+mornings.
And we're back. The thing you didn't know you needed. How we doing, Amanda? T?
We made it. Another Friday.
All right. We got to get you a poster, T.
No, I'm still decorating.
Something back there.
I have too much to do, man. Moving is never, everything is chaos. Living in the storm right now.
I hear you. Sometimes it's okay. I'm surrounded by boxes just because I've been doing that whole thing. But weighed myself this morning for the first time in 6 weeks. Well, and 6 weeks ago was the first time I weighed myself probably in 20 years. But I am below 200 pounds for the first time since 30 some years ago. Only by a pound, but
Counts.
To start, I'll tell you what. Don't get obsessed with it though. Like as soon as I started dropping that weight, like I got like every day I'd be on the scale and just
that's why I don't.
And you're like, where am I at? I mean, it's good and it's bad because at least you can see your progress, which really encourages you and makes you feel good.
Right.
But if you see it go up at all, you're like, oh my God, I went up 2 pounds. How is that possible? But you also have to remember your weight fluctuates during the day, right? Like water retaining and eating.
I was just like, why isn't my belly getting smaller? And
that's the hardest part, man.
Right, it's the visceral fat.
That's the hardest part.
Wook health,
like right under here. I think I'm gonna get rid of this, and then
I got a cream for you. Yeah, you need one of those little paddles.
My kid told me my face was thin and that I should grow a beard again, maybe. And I was like, my oldest is very health conscious, so it's cool because I can ask her. I was like, we're snowed in. What are you doing for exercise? She's like, you should do Pilates. I was like, no, I shouldn't. I was like, I'm gonna walk up the steps
a few hundred times.
Well, they say it's what, like 80% diet. That exercise is helpful, but like it's
20
tough,
calorie deficit.
Yeah. Well, I'm stoked for you.
The only way I dropped the weight wasn't exercise; it was stress and not eating. Yeah, right. It was like going through the shitstorm of like a divorce and parent dying and surgery and being laid up for 6 months and not eating. And I was like, oh my God, I've lost so much weight because I'm not eating.
I was there for some of those same reasons about 2.5 years ago. And people were like, you look great. And I'm like, thanks. I've fallen apart, but I really appreciate it.
Right. You're like, I've never looked better, but mentally I'm just like,
I know, right? I was like, is this how it works?
Right. It is, exactly. And to Kev's point, even the gut, it still doesn't completely disappear. You're like, it's always there now. And I stopped drinking beer and everything. And you're like, how do I just get rid of that? And it's like,
give it a name and it's a friend. You know?
I was told I needed to do planks and what did they call it? Vertical push-ups where you stand against a wall and do it because I was like, planks, man, I ain't getting on the ground. But
well, anything you do, Kev, even just your walking every day helps, right? Like it's just a healthy thing to get the heart rate up and to get things going. And as long as like internally, sometimes a physical appearance, it's a lot harder to get to turn around, especially as you get older. But as long as like you're internally, like you got the heart rate up, you're able to,
and you're letting your body, you're letting your muscles know we're still using you.
Right, exactly. You're not sitting in that chair in front of the computer for 8 hours a day, just doing nothing and eating bad food. Like you actually got to get up and do something and to counterbalance it. So at least you're doing that. And you're seeing the progress. That's awesome. Keep it up, man.
Yeah, super.
No processed food is the key. If you look at the back, it's like a 30 daily sugar and 1 granola bar. You know.
Okay.
Well, that's just it. Eating better changes a lot of things too. Like you've got the exercise part down. I know you already eat good. You eat your sweet potatoes and Brussels sprouts and stuff, which is great.
Oh, yeah. Love that.
It's the 3 things: exercising, eating right, and cutting out beer and most alcohol, not drinking every night. So Bungo says he gave up nicotine on New Year's. That's good for now. Good job, man. That's a tough one to kick. So good for you. Mr. E, driving and listening. Drive careful, Mr. E, while you're on the road.
I went from a carton a week at the beginning of COVID, do I buy a pack a week now? But I do smoke a cigarette every day. I feel like it's a reward at the end of the day. It's like let me have my one voice, please.
Yeah,
I do smoke weed, but I think I think that's just part of
But again, Kev, that's progress, right? Like if you
Yeah.
cut it down to that, you can't look, you got to look at it like I'm not
Big
quite
Harm
picture, right?
reduction, right? Harm reduction
I
is
think-
where we are.
I think that all counts, and I am super stoked for you because all those things add up. Totally.
completely.
You
Yeah.
know?
Good work. Keep it up.
All right. 40 years ago, you know what happened today? Widespread Panic did their first show at the Mad Hatter Ballroom in Athens, Georgia. It was just JB, Hauser, Dave Schools, and Todd Nance. They added Sonny and JoJo afterwards, but just wanted to send a shout out to that. I thought it was cool. I mean, they've become an institution.
40 years ago, really. That's
wild.
impressive.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary, Widespread.
His voice, I'm working on it. I sat through a whole Widespread show the other day. I'm working on it. I'm never going to get Rick's voice. Rick's voice just, man, WTMD keeps playing this song, Give It Up by Goose. And every time it comes on, now I recognize it. And I just turn the station off and go put something else on. I'm like, what is this?
Is it just too...
It sounds like a bad indie tune. It sounds like an indie tune with the voice coder, and it's nothing that, nothing I'm going to listen to. Something that you would find in a frat house on a campus somewhere.
I can go with that a bit. Yeah, it's, and I wonder, like, are they headed in that direction?
Right. What are all the poor middle-aged guys having midlife crises is going to do if they go that direction?
That's probably perfect for them because that's what they want to be anyways.
All right, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for this, but have you ever noticed, I've been to a couple Goose shows, and it seems like it's a bunch of old dudes and a bunch of younger women.
At what? A Goose
very
show?
strange dynamic.
That is
And Ryan's there.
And Ryan. He's the outlier.
And he's and he's always there.
Well, it does sometimes feel that way. And I'm much further removed from that scene these days and have been for quite a while. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could make your calls like that for all these bands.
Right. I have a daughter that's, my oldest, the one that was adopted, is 33. So, I look at someone who's 40 and I'm like, God, you're young.
This just came up recently because I'm going to be 46 in a few months, but I'm the baby of my friends group.
Oh no,
and
still so young.
All my close friends I've had for decades are 8, 10, 15 years older than me, right? So I was like, well, this has worked out perfectly because no matter what, right? But it is an interesting thing to see, these bands that are in their early 20s, etc., doctors that look like they're 15, and I'm like, well, actually, I should probably be happy about that,
right.
So speaking of kind of just this idea of legacy age, right? Kev, you shared a couple stories that I just thought worked really well together about Bobby. And I thought we could chat about those a little bit because these just made me really happy. The kind of effects of someone's legacy take forever, right? They're always going to be out there. But I did not know this until you shared it, that in the midst of whatever else is going on in the world, there was a moment on the House floor very recently, one of the California state reps, Jared Huffman, had a little moment for Bobby.
And got reprimanded.
Yeah, I know. They didn't like that too much, apparently.
So here's the only thing I would say, I mean, I guess he did go, but Bobby was always like the Birkenstock sandal wearing one up there. Like, I feel like O'Teal was the true barefooter.
The later years, Bobby went barefoot.
He did, yeah.
For a long time before that, he
wore the sandals and the Birks and stuff like that. So I thought it would have been a little more appropriate to wear the Birks and then maybe take them off up there and stuff. But he did a good job. I love the fact that he did that and did it. And God bless anybody that doesn't wear shoes and understands the importance of letting your feet out of jail and touching actual ground with them. So
a la Keller Williams also always loves to do that.
Yep.
Well, I just thought it was super cool that it could have been a real generic type of thing, he said, but Huffman mentioned Sweetwater Music Hall. I mean, the guy knows where he's from, And
Right.
I thought that was cool because sometimes we just need a little bit of a different kind of humanity or any humanity at all in those spaces. So good on him.
That's in the congressional record now.
It sure is. Yeah,
Especially
I know.
with all the crap, these days with every other thing you read about everything coming out as the Epstein files and all of that stuff. And isn't it nice to see none of our boys are in there? No mention of any of the dead. None of
Kevin,
The
other than
band
Blues
was
Traveler.
mentioned.
Other than Blues Traveler being mentioned in it, but other than that,
Well,
So
Ted
far,
Company
pretty
was
good.
mentioned.
so far pretty good. Right. We'll see what happens when France releases the unredacted ones. and
Right. Well, the thing is like they clearly want us to know about everything that happened with like former Prince Andrew and all these other people, right? So I'm sure that if there was anything like that, it may have already even been released.
Totally. I was reading a thing today, just real quick on that topic, that they automatically, whatever system they were using, put in obviously, anything with Trump's name to get it out of there. But because they were putting in all the different things like Don T or whatever, the word don't gets blacked out a lot because it's DONT. So it's like Don T. So because it's got Trump's letters in it, the word don't is redacted in a ton of them just because it matches Trump's name. So when you see that little word redacted, you're like, that's just don't.
That?
Like, so ridiculous. Anyway, real quick, I got to run over to volume here and say, Mr. E says Kev's the old dude. Bungle sold on Taper's Choice. I love it. Congratulations. Welcome to the family. We're always welcoming more people in the door.
I got something about them. I got something about their shows. I don't know if you heard about that other shows that they did after the Philly in New York.
They've had guests on a bunch of the shows.
From Dr. Dog, Scott McMicken from Dr. Dog, who we've
We
talked
love
to before.
him. He is a super cool dude.
He has something called Press On Records where he releases cassettes.
Love that guy.
Everything they sell is cassettes, and I'm like, that is so cool.
Yes.
Oh man, this is great. So Savvy and Bungle were both at the same show. They missed each other meeting up though, which sucks. Too bad you guys couldn't meet. But Bungle says I was at the merch table after the opener for a little while, bullshitting with Llama. And then Savvy says me too. I love that. That's awesome. I'm so glad Llama got to work the table for a bit. I missed the table.
I always miss the merch table. It's the best place to be.
It is the best place to be.
It is the hub.
Every time you go to a show now, don't you find yourself kind of hanging out around that person at the merch table? You're like, how's it going?
That's why I'm always volunteering. If I go to a show here, I'm like, anyone need help with merch? I'll buy my ticket, but I just want to talk to people.
I always look at their setup and like take a picture of them. I'm like, this is really good. You did a really good job hanging these things like this.
I
I'm gonna
love
copy
it.
this.
Where'd you get those clips?
Yeah, it's sanctioned talking at shows. So I'm like,
right,
let's do
right.
it.
Exactly.
Well, I'm stoked for Taper's Choice, and I know they're going to be on Jam Cruise. I don't know this. Is this their first Jam Cruise?
It is their first Jam Cruise.
Oh, hell yeah. Good for them.
This is their first big really touring. They've only ever played like 2 or 3 shows at a time, it seems like, before, except that one East Coast run, but that was what, 5 shows or 6? It wasn't.
Yeah, it was like a 6-show run that I did with them up the East Coast. But yeah, this is like, this whole year is a legit year for them because again, April they've got a full West Coast tour that leads them right into the after shows in Vegas for Fish. So I'm sure there's more to come too. I think they're doing more touring this year than all the years combined for them added up. So it's good though. I mean, they're getting some really good publicity. I saw an article on Relics for a recap. All the guys are checking them out. Sav says Brooklyn Bowl was legendary. Again, that's 2 big shows at the Brooklyn Bowl that they've played so far.
If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. At least that's what Frank Sinatra said.
And the cool thing about them is they truly are like bi-coastal and legit because, some of them are from New York, so they have their New York family and friends there. And then being out here, obviously, is where they are. So it's really cool that they can kind of hit both places and get a good following. So I think we'll see them, knock on wood, making that jump, Kev, that we always talk about from the super small venues to those next size venues before they get into like the real theaters and the really next stage up. But I feel like if this goes well, possibly,
Yeah. Well, I want to hear that Asheville show because when I was reading about it, speaking of Dr. Dog, the Relics article said that Scott did cassette tape manipulation as part of his sit-in. And I don't know what that is, but I'm so here for it. Yeah, I want to hear that. So
interesting.
I'm going to be looking for that one.
Like there's some 60s, 70s experimental electronic albums where they use tape effects and they would run like reel to reels and do it and like manipulate the sounds and make
Prince
the
did
frequencies
some of
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
And it was things that you would not ever necessarily hear directly.
Right.
He had a thing he would do, which I'm so fascinated about. And I know other artists did this also. He would record vocals, track them, and then play it back the opposite way.
Right.
As this like layer underneath, like just super creative. So yeah, I'm excited to hear.
He's got in trouble for that.
Yeah, well, sometimes it says things.
You know, in Twin Peaks, let's take a left turn. You know how when they're in the room and they talk? He did. That's not a tape running backwards. They learned how to speak backwards.
Wow. It's a brain exercise right there.
Right. So if you ever see it again, just think that was a lot of work to be like, for Micah.
That is a lot of work.
That is a lot of work.
Love it though.
The little dude. I wish he hadn't made it. So what else did you have connected to that, Amanda?
Oh, for some news for this week? Oh, yeah.
For the Bob Weir.
Yeah, so Bruce Hornsby, he's got some music coming out. Well, I think one track already hit. So he's got an album coming out in early April. And there's an appearance there, had been recorded in part with Bobby as well. I mean, such a beautiful musical relationship there. Bruce just, I feel like he has this way of just adding so much to whatever he does in a real thoughtful way. Like you never hear about anybody going, oh, that guy, like he's just can't work with him. So the title track was released just this last week. And I believe it's called Indigo Park. It's a 10-song album. Did anyone listen to the track? I heard a little bit of it. So the track list is available, but there's other collaborators too. A bunch of names that we know, like Bonnie Raitt. And then also Robert Hunter is connected to this as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
He wrote the one song, right?
Or
the lyrics.
Yeah. And, so Hornsby was kind of, a part of the Dead officially, unofficially for just a couple years, right? Like in the early 90s.
91 to 93.
Yeah. But I feel like he, in that relatively brief amount of time, especially when you look at the entire history, he did so much. And he came in at a really crucial time. Super important to have that presence
through,
right. And because he had that jazzy way about
and they brought in the amazing thing, Mandolin Rain and Valley Road. They both brought in and did, and then we played with the other ones. They did Rainbow's Cadillac and another song, White Wheeled Limousine. So they respected him enough to say, hey, you're playing with the Grateful Dead. Let's do one of your songs.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, I mean, I get chills thinking about it. So that just goes to show that it doesn't matter how long someone is connected to a band. Like you can go in there and really make such an impact just by being you. And so this album, I'm really excited for it. It's been in the making for a couple years, I think since 2024. And he really, had stopped writing for a little while. So it's exciting to see it coming back.
Right. Remember that interview with Bruce Springsteen on Stern? And he was saying how he doesn't feel like he needs to write anymore. I guess something inspired him to write again. But he was saying that a couple years ago. He's like, I'm old. I don't have anything really to say anymore.
Well, and just along that line too, if anybody out there is looking for a really great musical autobiography, I got to give a push for Bruce's book. It's awesome. It's really good. Yeah. You can tell he wrote it. It is his voice. It's excellent. It's
not an AI book.
Not a bot book. Robot Book Club.
Robot Book Club.
I haven't.
You know what? Actually, real quick, that would be really funny. You know how they started that whole AI chat thing where all the AI bots are like have their own community now and are like talking to each other and building Skynet and killing us all and everything.
At all.
Not at all. But it'd be so funny to have a roundtable book club with AIs and like make them read books and then hear how they discuss it compared to like how people would discuss it and see like what they pull out of it.
Yeah. Okay. I have a funny thing I will share with both of you, but I'll just explain it real briefly. This is going back years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago. Somebody fed a bunch of Hallmark Christmas movie, like either text or scripts or whatever, into some bot and asked it to prepare an original version based on all of those movies. And what emerged from that is one of the funniest things I have ever seen. It is like all the stereotypes just like this big. And, you know, I'm there for that. I dig that technology usage. I'm sure it would be better now, but you know,
Yeah,
really
make sure you let us know up front.
That's what it is, right? Just when I do reports for work, you know, evaluations, if we ever do use anything, we note it, you know, assisted by or whatever, which is not all the time. But I think that's half the battle, like with the art, you know, issues that we're seeing with bands. When like was it Humphreys recently that they took down a poster?
Well, I think that was because the people were the person who did it ripped off somebody else. The poster, okay. They took like the main image of the dude.
Oh, that sucks.
And plus the things, the fingers look like penises.
Well, now I'm going to be looking at everybody's
right,
fingers.
Now you're not going to be able to see anything.
I'm
but
super suggestible if you didn't know.
You see they dropped record store day stuff for the next one. Do you guys do records? I know you don't, T. I buy records, but I never open them, and I have
that's my thing. Yeah, I have a great stack of them. But since my buddy Mike moved out a while ago, he had the greatest little hi-fi system set up. Like, oh my god, like that made me want to listen to record. Like, yes. And then once he moved out, and now my records just sit in my closet, I'm just like, yeah, they all are collecting dust.
All right, we got a 5 LP Grateful Dead coming out. Boston Music Hall.
I saw that
from 6/11/76, and then a single one called "On a Back Porch," Volume 3, which has just random songs. It has Samson, Rockin' Pneumonia, Around and Around on one side. I don't know if I'd be listening to that. Cold Rain and Snow, Cumberland, and Touch of Grey on the other side. But all different years, from 72 to 89 they cover, which is strange. The other weird thing, though, the reason I bring it up is I knew the Grateful Dead were releasing something, is Ween the other day posted a cryptic message. We were talking about it, T and I, on Wednesday night, and I was like, I bet it's going to be an album or something. Well, it's called Europe 90 Unreleased Live and Studio Material. So no Ween, people. There is no tour. How now, yes. Brown frown?
No tour. Yeah, maybe they're like testing the waters a little bit.
Well, I don't think Ween can handle it. I really don't think. I mean, they tried that last tour, and he had
maybe this is what we've been talking about with the residency type thing, where they won't go on tour, but they'll play like 9 shows in LA and 9 shows in New York or something like that, and just do something a run
9
like
shows in Ardmore,
right? Do a run, not a residency.
New Hope, where they're from, is close to Ardmore. It's like not that far away. I used to go up and see the Rads in New Hope. It's a neat little town.
I went there so often when I was in high school.
It's so weird too. You go there and you're like, this isn't in the middle of Pennsylvania. This is,
actually.
Cool
so New Hope had a really kick-ass art music gallery for a very long time. And that's where I got my Jerry print, which is the first thing I bought for myself. It was New York, framed, the whole deal. It's called Image Makers, I think is the name of the place or something. Anyway, this was like so long ago. When I got my first job in New York, that's what I bought for myself. And that has been hanging up wherever I've lived since then, 20, 30 years ago. And this place was so fucking cool. So yeah, it had a real interesting vibe. I remember seeing Deep Banana there all the time, and heck yeah. But, doing a residency or even just a couple shows, if they can have complete control over where, when, and how, then maybe they'll do a couple.
But it might be a trigger for them.
It could be.
For years, whenever I talked to my mother, whether I saw her, whether she called on the phone and I had to answer, the first thing I did after was go to the liquor store. So I stopped talking to her because I didn't want to go to the liquor store anymore. Yeah. But I'm just saying, maybe the walking on stage and being in that environment is just too much of a trigger for him.
I hear that. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that they're getting some stuff out there. Right. I think, that's awesome.
Exactly. It's good for them. We've had Reid Garner on before. Garn, how do I say his last name? Garnier.
I'm going to be honest with you. I say
Right.
it like 10 different ways. I'm sorry.
Genauer, I don't know.
Genauer.
We've had Reid on a few times. Strange Folk, Assembly of Dust. Really great guy. One of those people that you're like, can you give us a half hour? And then an hour later, they're still talking.
Yeah.
I love the people who you ask a question to and they talk for 15 minutes. You're like, you made my life so easy.
Well, and he's up here. He's really super creative, cerebral guy.
Exactly. And that's what he's doing. He saw a picture that was titled This Is What I Saw, and it was one of those find 100 songs of his. He decided to find them and then record all of them, right? Re-record them. So he re-recorded 100 songs, was releasing 5 20-song each releases. This is brilliant. This is just, I mean, it's so
fun.
over the top, and does the world need this? No, but fuck it, I'm gonna do it because I love this picture so much. He was so enamored with the picture that it inspired him.
Well, and there's a quote I'm looking at it right now, from the Live for Live Music article, where basically Reid says something like, when people would come over to the house, he would make sure they stand by this picture, and it says, and yes, there was a quiet, smug internal monologue when friends came over that went something like, hey, I have 100 songs. Also, check out this shrine to them. Right. I love that. Like, celebrate yourself and have fun with it too, but clearly that really meant a lot. And also those Boulder shows in 2024 were really special, I think. And to have it out here made a lot of sense. And so, I love to see people's love for what they do. Like, he clearly is feeling a way about it. I think it's super cool.
Right. I'm going to make a 100 Goose songs in an AI program poster and sell it to all the Goose fans.
Can't wait to see it.
Does Goose have 100 songs? I don't know. Dustin Hoffman will be easy. I'll just Photoshop a picture of Dustin Hoffman. Oh man. Yeah, Strange Folk. I love it. I like Strange Folk better than the Assembly of Dust, but Assembly of Dust had who was the keyboard player? Was that I forget. We talked to him. Hold on.
I don't remember. I'm sorry. Usually my brain is too full of that kind of random information.
Right.
While you're looking for it, though, I will say I was super impressed that Reid recorded all of those in less than a week, I think. Those songs. Oh, but he breaks it down like.
Right. It was Jason Crosby.
Oh.
Was an Assembly of Dust.
Yeah.
Strange Folk was cool because it was more, I guess, acoustic bass. Maybe that's what draws me to that more than the full band kind of thing.
Yeah. And that's what he did for re-recording these. I think it's just him, guitar. That's super cool. That these days I crave that kind of sound sometimes.
Right. And it has an unreleased song on the first one called Cocaine Jesus.
That's my kind of Jesus.
Yes, that's mine.
My baby Jesus.
I'll have the chicken fried Buddha and the Jesus on a stick. I'm going to hell. Join me. See, I'm going to throw it to you because you threw us this article. I think one of our friends actually made the list. One of our favorite guitarists, didn't they?
He did on the go. Who was it again? I can't remember the magazine. Hang on, give me
Paste magazine.
Paste magazine. That was who it was. Yes, they listed the top 100 guitar players of the 20th century, and our
21st.
boy
75 great guitarists of the 21st century.
And Trey was number, what did I tell you, 32.
Right. Well, yeah. But the top guy was someone named Patrick Flegel, who I've never heard of. And then there's Jeff Parker, who I've never heard of. Wata, who I've never heard of. The four for the spot, they have Tweedy and Klein from Wilco, which I like that. It's really neat to listen to. If you listen to Jeff Tweedy's whole career, how he's gotten better. You can actually, hear how much of a better guitar player. And Nels Cline is just fantastic. But then, we round up the 5, 6, 7. I don't know. And then we got Derek and Susan. Then Jason Isbell, which is fascinating to me. I don't know if I'd stick him up at a number 9 there, right? And then the guitar player St. Vincent, Annie Clark.
Yeah. Paste, my understanding, the way I think about Paste Magazine is it's always had a bit of an indie vibe to it. And so when I was looking at this list, I'm like, okay, I wonder their lens, right? Because what a big task to assign yourself to try to figure out what you would say are the top 75. So I was just kind of looking through the list. I'm like, I wonder how much that kind of played into some of these.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit.
A lot of experimental guitar players.
A lot I want to check out, to be honest with you. I was like, I got to keep this one around because I want to dip into some of these. They sound amazing. There were a lot that I did not know.
It's funny they have John Mayer at 17 and Billy at 16 and then Brittany Howard at 15. That's an interesting run, right there, of them and where they're located at. So even that tells you. And then Jack White's up at 12. So it's kind of like a weird.
Is 32 too high for Trey or too low? Is that
again, going to Amanda's thing about this, I feel like you need to listen to some of these other ones, but I find it hard to believe that some of these people on here are a better guitar player than, I don't know. Trey just seems like such a virtuoso. He's just such a master of his craft. It's crazy he doesn't get more love and appreciation.
It isn't just technical virtue. What are they? How do you say that? It isn't just the technical part, virtuosity. It's the for Trey, at least, he's very expressive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And but maybe 32 is a good number. Maybe that is the spot.
I think it's pretty good, honestly, just for the fact that Trey and to a large extent, many of the bands that are part of the jam scene are just so always there, but just really not on people's radars. So I was actually pretty stoked, honestly, to see that. Now, I will say in the little blurb at the front of that article, they don't really talk about, the only eligibility rule they said is either the guitarist's greatest contributions happened in the 21st century or most of their professional work occurred in that time frame. I was hoping they would talk a little bit more about what were you looking for? But maybe they just didn't have a set criteria. I don't know.
Fascinating. Is Trey's best work done in the 21st century?
It's a good question, right? That's so subjective. I don't know.
He's done more.
Right. The body of work
is larger. It's 25 years worth of stuff and all his solos. See, if you throw in his solo stuff, yes, I can see it because some of his solo stuff was challenging and he did the whole time turns elastic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
They say telling a story with your instrument, that's one thing they mention. It's not always, the one with the biggest, baddest sound. It's a tough chore to put yourself through. I could only imagine whoever the team is that worked on that, what kind of conversations they had. That's a pretty big deal.
I want to be part of those conversations.
Me too. I want to have you should have a wook+ canon.
Yes.
Right.
And you can do ranked choice voting and you could,
Right, we need polls on Blue Sky. Jack White's on there. Good for him. Sufjan Stevens. Sufjan. Llama's big on him.
Yes, he is.
Talk about him. And then the guy from Queens of the Stone Age, Josh Homme.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Or Hum.
Molly Tuttle's on there. Thought that was pretty
Molly
cool.
Tuttle. Just saw her.
From Foo Fighters. I heard a Foo Fighters song this morning. I was listening to the radio and then I went and looked and I was like, what is this crap? And it was a Foo Fighters song.
Well,
and I was like, God, they really suck. I watched the whole thing after the drummer died with all the guests and I thought that was cool, but this was just the straight studio recording. I was like, man, that's a little disappointing.
I want to give a plug. As I was looking through this, I was super excited to see Khaki King, number 39. Oh, she is so talented. She's got a guitar trio kind of sound, polyrhythmic, finger tapping, does some flamenco stuff. She's incredible. So
quite a few women.
Yeah, if anyone's looking for something new, I would totally recommend her. Everything she has is great.
I'm trying to figure out how to go see Tedeschi Trucks Band at the Beacon. I need to get on that. It's in March. They're playing 9 shows though, so I figure I can get up there, even if I went up and just went back to the train station. You know, which is rough. Well, when I'm old, it's rough. Usually, you end up in a bar after the show to kill a few hours.
Yes.
That's always the first mistake.
I don't know if it still exists, but when I was fresh out of college and I got a job in New York, before I got an apartment there, I was doing the New Jersey Transit thing every day. Right. And there was, at that point in the belly of Penn Station, there was a hula hands. And this was still when the board made that, so you would sit there. I can't tell you how many trains I missed. They're about every hour, drinking after work. And I already worked till like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. Oh, good times. But, you know, train station drinking is a whole other thing.
Yeah. Have either one of you guys seen BERTHA?
Oh yeah, I have. I have their sweatshirt right over there. Love them.
They're releasing an album.
Slayin
in the band. So good for them. A+ work with the title there. April 18th. Why didn't you release it on the 20th? Come on, guys.
So close.
19 tracks, all live stuff from their 3-year run, and a portion of the proceeds will go to Trans Aid Nashville.
Yes, they do that. They will pick a local charity that is connected to, you know, to those really important issues wherever they go. So when they played here in Denver for 2 nights, which were both, I think, sold out, there I was doing merch. Actually, I was there with Positive Legacy, and next to us was the charity from Denver that they had chosen to benefit. And it was a really awesome vibe. There were a lot of people there to support that, and the energy was really great. Exactly. Yeah, they have a lot of fun. I can't think of many things better and more freeing these days, honestly, than to get down with a band that has such a big sound, but they also just have a lot of fun, and they almost force you, right, to just get out of your head.
Right. And they've released a Scarlet Fire, and they've released a BERTHA. It does, though. You're absolutely right. And that is that's the beauty of what they're doing, I guess.
Yeah, and I think it's amazing. And it's, you know what, it's a brave thing more and more these days to actually be really out there. The people that go to those shows, I think if you're super stoked, like you're there to have just a really good time. And the crowd, it was a different vibe at their shows. I loved it.
Right. And if you happen to be in New Orleans on April 18th, just head over to Louisiana Music Factory, and I bet you can pick up a copy of that. Why would you be in New Orleans on April 18th?
What's happening down there?
The French Quarter Fest is going on, the best free festival in the country. The thing is free. It isn't $100 like Jazz Fest. It's free. You go and hang out in the French Quarter. Irma Thomas, Cyril Neville, George Porter, Big Frida. I mean, Kermit Ruffin, Charmaine Neville. Sorry, don't shoot me. The Lost Bayou Ramblers, Preservation Brass Band, Soul Rebels, Dirty Dozen.
Oh yeah, I mean it's Jazz Fest. It's a lot of what we would see at Jazz Fest. The Soul Rebels. I mean, there's so many.
If I went back, I'd want to go to that. I could see.
Yeah, I've wanted to as well. Well, you know, trying to get into the fairgrounds these days, it is an expensive proposition if you're trying to go to Jazz Fest.
$50 for the Stones, and they were the only band who played that day, I think.
Right. Well, they get you all the different ways, and I get it. It's kind of how the industry is. But like when I went, I paid extra. The last time I bought a fairground ticket, I paid, I don't even remember how much extra to be able to get re-entry. Because that is not a thing if you don't pay for it. And to be honest, it wasn't. I don't think it was worth it for me.
Right.
But this looks incredible. Yeah.
And it's free. Did we mention it's free?
It is free.
Did we mention it's free?
The last time I went to Jazz Fest, it was $25 to walk in the door. So if you really wanted to leave and come back, you just bought another ticket for like $10. Somebody trying to dump it out front.
I'm kidding.
I never did that. I never left and went back. A couple times I went like 11 in the morning like an idiot after drinking till 4 in the morning, and ended up asleep under the big tree.
Well, and they've got a new site for that too. So if somebody needed to do that, you have a riverfront location, which is super cool. And it looks like they have really added to just how many bands and how much music is going to be there.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Love it down there. It is such a special place. I love it.
What we need to do, T, is get a wook+ retreat in New Orleans that just happens to fall over something like the French Quarter Fest.
Totally.
We can write it off on our tax.
Exactly. That's like 100% what we need to do.
All right, we touched on Taper's Choice. Scott McMicken, also Rich Ruth, a Nashville multi-instrumentalist, came out in North Carolina with him, and I think McMicken came out in South Carolina and North Carolina.
You might have. I know for sure Asheville.
All right, and in Asheville they did Mountain Lion, a new one of his songs. I'm wondering if that finds a place in the Taper's Choice canon, since they bothered to learn it to play with him, you know.
Totally. I appreciate the covers they do learn and bust out once a while. Like, they haven't played anything from the Big Lebowski that they learned. They haven't played the Tam Apollo song that they did that one time at Choice Fest. They're kind of one-offs when it comes to the covers, but it would be cool. I was going to suggest to them a couple things next time I talk to Alex about a few things, like even the Fish motto. I'm like, you guys should just jam for one set. Like, don't worry about any songs. Just give me like a whole jam for a second set.
Super fun. That'd be awesome.
Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be yummy. I would like that.
With Rich Ruth, they did Cavalry Cross, which is Fairport Convention, or a Richard Thomas song after, I don't know, something. It's all the same thing, but like that, you know, that's probably going to just be, they'll probably both be one-offs there. So,
but what I like, I mean, you never know, right? Like, I could come back, or if they play with him again at some point, they could bust out that or a new song too. But I feel like they have such a, you know, we've talked about this, Kev. They have such a wide range of their influences with music that it's so cool. The covers that
how many new songs? I saw like Wild Eternity, I think.
Yeah, a bunch of new songs out. Tour. Yeah, which is great. I love it. Because like you said the other day, that was your kind of issue, was like, you know, it's sort of a repeat of the songs because there's not a lot out there. But now
you listened to 3 shows and you heard the same 10 songs all 3
right
times.
So now we're getting a little bit of new stuff, which fits right in with some of the old stuff. So it's great to see that kind of getting out there. So I love it.
I do love that.
It's great.
Speaking of getting out there, how's that for a transition? My journalism advisor would be so proud.
Savvy says Chris's performance of Cavalry Cross is powerful. And have you checked out the Linda Richard Thompson cover of TC? Yes, exactly. And Chris, when his vocals are up, I think the biggest thing with him sometimes is those vocals are too down in the mix or in the live feed, and so he gets drowned out. But when they're up, his voice sounds so good. And that those shows at the Townhouse was the first time I felt like he really had his vocals up. And other than Alex, he's got such a great voice singing. Like, I wish you could hear him more, especially for like Above the Timberline and stuff, where his vocals, the lyrics are so good that you want to hear him sing more. So I love that. Yes, when he gets songs like that, that's awesome. That Cavalry Cross was good. I want to listen to that again today. Thanks, Savvy. Anyway, go ahead, Amanda, with your transition and things.
Oh yeah. Thank you. So actually a whole bunch of my favorite musicians came together. I was super excited to see this. So we've got 2 Dopapod friends, Eli, right, and Rob. John Morgan Kimock, who I have loved and followed as a drummer for a really long time. I just dig his sound, his vibe. And then Jonathan Colman have formed a little jazzy jam band type act. And I guess, you know, based in the Philly area. I know John is definitely based there. And they just released a debut LP with some originals, some covers. That's on vinyl. And I think the end of this month, they're going to be putting up on the streaming platform. So just wanted to flag that because...
But they didn't play anything off the album.
No, it was kind of like I guess Colman has some series, right?
Dungeon Crawl.
Dungeon Crawl.
Yeah, the Dungeon Crawl, yeah.
Yeah, so like... for a couple years now, he kind of does his own supergroup type of collaborations, I think, completely improvised music. God, I love that. I would love to see one of those. So I think it's the first Tuesday of every month at Silk City in the Philly area.
So you got to make sure you're in Philly.
You got to do it. I don't know if they're posting them anywhere. I would love to listen to those.
Right. I'm with you.
Yeah.
So summer camp. A few weeks ago, they announced like a tour that was all EDM kind of stuff. And they announced that Summer Camp Music Festival is back, 25th anniversary in 2026.
Wow.
No Mel, no Humphreys.
Interesting.
I wanted to bring up this stuff. Did you see this? Kevin and I've talked about this though, but did you see only $3.99 for a 4-day pass? That's really good.
It is. I'm just being an old dude reminiscing.
No, I know. Oh, I totally hear you. But I seeing that, I'm actually impressed with that for 4 days. I mean, granted, but it's New Orleans, and yes, they do jack up the prices on everything for Jazz Fest, but it's still relatively affordable trip compared to going to New York for New Year's or something, right? Like Jazz Fest is or even the Sphere that same weekend for Fish. Well, I'm sure will run you twice as much, if not 3 times as much, as going down to New Orleans for Jazz Fest and seeing equally as good of music, if not better, than what you're getting with the 3-night run at Fish. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
You know what, Dune Farmer? Did we tell you the French Quarter Fest is free?
Noted. So there's some interesting reactions to that scamp announcement or post. Yeah. Basically, someone said this gives Concepts of a Plan vibes, and then someone said, the road to summer camp winners are going to be the lineup. Like it's just, people are even asking the question just straight up: is it even summer camp without Mo and Humphreys? And both of those acts, I think, have already something set on the schedule for that weekend. So it's not like there's going to be a surprise.
They're going to show up and wow.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Looks
now, did they announce any of the bands yet?
Not what I saw. Nope. It was just this, we're coming. It's next week. I think they said next week.
Right. And they said some returning acts that they're going to start announcing some of them, a bunch of new stuff. Maybe you're going to get an Eggy and a Dogs in a Pile and that kind of thing there.
Yeah.
That would be good, right? That could be cool.
You're going to need some big names, though. I mean, not that outside of our ecosphere, Humphreys and Mel are that big of names, but together at a festival, that's one that you're like, yes, that is something,
I would check out or want to do. Bunglesey and JMP at Brooklyn Bowl tonight. That's
somebody
cool.
saw them last night, job volunteers. So let's talk about that. Last night they did War Pigs, Fishman singing with Jazz Mandolin Project. I did not recognize. I saw a set list. I did not recognize a lot of the songs. I don't think when I saw them in the late 90s, they didn't do much of that. So apparently they've been writing new music that I was not aware of.
How dare they?
How dare they?
So presumptuous.
Oh man, I really was a huge fan when they came out. Even after Fishman left and they had another drummer, I went and saw them a few times.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if y'all can see, but so I got this little cassette deck CD player cube thing over here, and I have been busting into a bunch of my tapes, and it's been super fun.
That's fun. That's very cool.
It is, and it's just right here. So like I'm working away and I'm like, oh damn, like it sounds so crispy, like
it's cool. Every 45 minutes you have to stand up. It makes you stand up from your desk every 45 minutes. Right? You flip the tape.
Oh yeah. No, let's see that.
You're close enough you can grab it. Oh, I was having spatial things.
No, that is a good idea though. I do need
to put it on the other side of the
going
room.
Back to the exercise thing, it would be helpful to stand up at all in 8 or 10 hours.
Well, that's why I try to every 15 minutes stand up, because I used to sit for hours. Like I could sit 4 hours cross-legged and then I'd stand up and my legs were like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, don't be doing that.
What the fuck are you doing? We want circulation. We need blood flowing through these things. Oh man. All right. So we'll be back next Friday doing this again with with Amanda. Monday, me and T will be hanging out. Wednesday is we're gonna have Liv. Who knows what'll happen? Trying to get somebody to come on, hang out with us. We'll see. We might have a big interview coming up. With yes, we might be.
Awesome.
I'm not going to say anything. I've learned to not jinx myself. And then the 17th of this month, Mardi Gras, Makita is going to be on. Hopefully T will join us. Hopefully can drag Tim on, and we're going to do, Amanda, you're welcome too if you want. It's fall 2013. We're listening back to all of fall 2013 because Makita said that was the best tour of 3.0.
Oh, I love that. Very cool.
We'll see. We did, Makita and I did 97, summer of 97 is 3 parts, Europe and then 2 parts for America. That was a lot of fish.
That's a lot.
That was a lot. This thing's only like 12 shows. Then we're going to do one with Julie of The Dead from summer 88 sometime in March, which was only 9 shows. Yes. I don't know. I like the Wook Club. Anybody watching this, comment if you're watching it later because it will pop up for everybody later. Do you like the idea of single shows or whole tours? Better for Wook Clubs. I like the whole tour because that way I can do it once a month and just spend my month listening to the set amount of shows. Let us know. You guys got anything else?
I don't, but talking about this reminds me of one of my favorite Simpsons memes where I think it's little like whatever that kid's name is. Somebody's trying to rob him and they have him tied to a chair and he's like, "Oh, awesome. Let me sit down and tell you about like summer 96." And then the guy that was trying to rob him just jumps out the window. That is so me. I'm like, "Oh, are you interested? Let's talk about it for 5 hours."
Oh, I see you want to steal that one. Well, let me tell you all about that one before you take it. So you know.
Yeah, hang on. Wait, I got right here. Let's listen to it first. Like, oh, I'm out of here.
It's so good. That's great. That's great.
Well,
all right, so I guess T doesn't have anything either. We'll see you guys.
No, we hit up on my Tabor's Choice stuff, and one thing I do want to go back to really quick, Kev, because I wasn't there for it and I missed it, and we didn't even talk about it with Amanda, but real quick, Amanda, what do you think of the Mexico run?
Oh, you know what? I thought it was overall, I thought it was good. I think that they, those runs to me, I never can tell if it would feel like more or less pressure for them doing that, or if it's just another show. People go down there, it's that all-inclusive, like you're paying a bunch of money, to do it. I feel like I've heard a lot of real positive feedback just on the boards and whatnot from it. And I don't know. I don't want to sound like a total homer or anything, but it just seems like they're in a good fun spot right now. And I did love the breakout of, new tune, Mike's thing and all that. That's always fun to hear. It doesn't happen that often.
Right. The Page and Trey tune and then Simeon.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good, I think, it's funny. I always feel like it used to be anyway, not really worth it. But now it seems over the last, especially what we say, Kev, 2-3 years ago, how good those shows were. And then this year really kind of surpassing even those shows. It feels like it's become a much more bigger thing. Finally. A bigger thing than it was, and I don't want to say more important to them, but like they put a little bit more curation into it now and like do a little bit more for like between the bust outs that they were doing or like these insane jams that they did this one, which I hope carry over to everything else this year. But I used to think the same thing. I was, like, why do I need to go down to Mexico to see them play like subpar shows? I can see that on any random weekend with them sometimes. But now I feel like it's kind of up the game. Yep. And if you're gonna pay for it, then yeah. And I feel like to them though, it's got to be both sides of that, like very relaxing and free to be down there on the beach playing outdoors in this environment.
Trey's been going down weeks before.
Right.
I mean, he's probably very comfortable. There. He's like, this is my space now, Well,
and that's the other thing that I was going to get to is now that like every band does it and has done it for a while, like Widespread's done it forever. Dave's done it forever now. Like you got Goose starting to do it now every year type thing. So it's become this sort of like what everybody's doing. So it adds a little bit more importance to it as well, and like, oh, you can do these things. So I don't know. That some of those songs were incredible. I do want to point out one thing that we forgot to talk about the other night, though, Kev, is listening to it. I listened to the show on re-listen the other day because, like, I like listening to the audience reactions to things, and like the tapers sound, like you were saying, crispy and stuff like that. I was listening to the last night, and they do the Mike song, and you can hear the crowd so excited. And when they drop into the Haley's Comet, the collective, that you hear from the crowd is hilarious. Like, it is so funny. I was like, these are my people. These are everyone that was ready for the hydrogen drop, and it went into ba, 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 and it went just like,
oh, that is so funny and so relatable.
Totally. I was like, that was basically my reaction too at home listening. And I was like, oh, listen to the crowd. They agree with me. It was so funny.
Wow.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
I love it. Oh man. Thank you for sharing.
I forgot the other night to bring that up, but it was so funny.
All right, guys. We will see you soon.
Good to see you guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Have an awesome
Take care.
weekend.
What's up, dog?
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.